welcome back, America, to our special report. Joining us now is a special guest. She's not only a representative from the great state of Florida, but she's also the co-chair of the Pro-Life Caucus in Congress. Joining us right now, Congresswoman Kat Cammack. Congresswoman, great to have you on the show today.
Hey, thank you so much, John. Pleasure to be with you.
Always an honor to have you. I want to start. You've had an opportunity over the last month to spend a lot of time with young conservatives, first at the Turning Point USA women's event, and then more recently with the Young Republican Leadership Summit. There is a narrative in media that all the Gen Zers, all the millennials are pro-abortion, and I'm not sure that's true. I'm curious if you walked away from those two events and other interactions you have with a different portrait than what the mainstream media has given us.
No, I actually think that what I have found is that my generation, being a millennial, and the generation coming up right behind me, the Gen Zers, we are the post-Roe pro-life generation, because we believe that every life has value, and we believe in science. And it has been incredible that not only have I championed this for so long, but then to actually be a member of Congress when the court ruled that Roe would be overturned, returning this issue back to the states. It's been incredible. And I think you see so many young people who are hungry to really take a stand for faith, for family, to take a stand for science and for liberty for all, recognizing that just now the law is catching up to the science. And so it's so encouraging to see young people out there fighting for life, fighting for all these issues and the values that we have as true conservatives. It truly has been humbling, and it has been very, very exciting. But there's a lot more work to go. Being pro-life doesn't mean just when you're in the womb. It means from the tomb to the womb. And so we are all the way through looking at ways that we can be supportive of the pro-life movement as a pro-life advocate. But I am truly, truly excited for what is to come out of this generation today.
Yeah, and you talked a little bit about both the laws and the science, and there's a law in Minnesota that's given us visibility to something we haven't seen for a long time. There's an annual report now that must be issued by the Minnesota Health Department, and last year it revealed, actually this month they revealed that last year there were 5 botched abortions in which an infant survived past the procedure, and all 5 of those cases, the doctors performing that didn't provide life support to the newborn infant, basically allowing that child to die. When you hear that, that's the sort of thing that used to be kept secret below the radar. Is there more that needs to be done in the legislative realm and perhaps larger in the culture of life to make sure those things don't happen in the future?
Absolutely. My stomach just turns, seeing that report flash on the screen, because this is actually an issue that beginning of last year, as a brand new member of Congress, my colleague Ann Wagner and Representative Steve Scalise, the 3 of us, we led a discharge petition called the Abortion Survivor Protection Act. And what it does is it actually mandates that any provider who is performing an abortion and that child survives that abortion, they have to immediately provide life-saving care. But one step further, every single medical professional in that room is mandated by law to report the incident. And part of the problem is, as you said, that there were 5. I probably can guarantee there were more across the country and across that state in Minnesota where these procedures had taken place and the child had survived. And we've heard horrific stories that just keep you up at night where these children have survived abortion attempts and there's no mandate to record it and to save the child's life, which I just think that is unconscionable. So I think in the state of Florida, we've had a few voluntary reportings, but that needs to change because people so often think that this is an issue that isn't an issue. And clearly, as you've shown with this report and what we know from voluntary reporting, this is a real issue. And it comes down to who we are as a society, because certainly abortion, I believe, is wrong. But when you look at an abortion that has been botched and these children survive and the doctor continues to allow this child to suffer and it is murdered outside of the womb, well, that's murder. And we need to call it for what it is. So we have a lot more work to do in so many ways within the movement. And I think the sanctity of life is something that's going to be top of mind as we move forward into these midterms, but also as we move through leading as the pro-life generation.
Yeah, so important to get these issues out there and get people informed so they can make the best decisions possible. We talked about the law. There's already a law on the books. It's pretty clear that it is illegal for any abortion provider to trade in or sell body parts or fetal tissue from an abortion. But take a look at this a little clip we have of a Planned Parenthood executive talking about doing just that. Let's play this quickly.
This clinic is selling tissue. This clinic is making money off of this. Okay, so when you are or the employer is determining what that is monetary. Yes.
A direct discussion of this going on. We know there are some records that Senator Grassley made public, yet no prosecutions. What can Congress do to make sure that law gets enforced going forward?
I don't know how anyone in good conscience can actually have a discussion about monetizing human parts. This is an infant. This is a living human being. And my stomach is in knots. Absolutely disgusting that this is actually something that we are witnessing in 2022. I think Congress has a major role to play in, you see, of course, that was Planned Parenthood, in defunding Planned Parenthood. There's absolutely no room whatsoever for federal taxpayer dollars to be going towards this organization that is not dedicated to women's health care. It's dedicated to the murder of innocent children. And I am so sick and tired of hearing about this is women's empowerment and this is for science or this is for that. No, there is a hard line that we draw in the sand and say that this is absolutely unconscionable. Congress should never allow this. There has been legislation to defund Planned Parenthood, but until Republicans take the House back, it is going to be stalled out. So we have got to do everything we can to educate people so they know exactly what Planned Parenthood and others in this industry are doing in the buying and selling and trading of human parts. And again, it makes me sick to have this even come out of my mouth, but that to me is absolutely unconscionable. And until people can see that that should never be allowed, and to add insult to injury at the behest using, taxpayer dollars, this is going to persist. All the more reason why people need to be involved in the movement, get engaged, and help us take back the House and Senate so that we can actually protect life the way that it was intended to be protected as our founding fathers saw fit.
Yeah, and you're putting your money where your mouth is. You have the American Grit PAC. It's endorsing lots of pro-life women to get them in Congress, get them into other public policy decisions. Tell us what's going on there. We got about 90 seconds left.
I'm so excited about the American Grit PAC. We are looking for candidates and helping candidates across the country that are maybe not your most traditional candidates. They have been stay-at-home moms. They are small business owners. They are firefighters, police officers, veterans, and they come to the table with so much, but most importantly, grit. And that's what it's going to take to get our country back, is that blue collar, do whatever it takes mentality to really put the special interests aside and fight for what's right, because they believe in our Constitution, our country, and life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness to the T. So I'm so proud to endorse the candidates that are part of Team Grit, and there's so much more to come. This group will be responsible for helping take the House back. And so if you're out there, support these candidates. They are wonderful, wonderful human beings, and they are going to be game changers in the 118th Congress in 2023.
How about that? That's an exciting thing. About 20 seconds left. There's a lot of talk about the midterm elections. Liberals think they're going to get energy from the Roe v. Wade reversal. I actually think conservatives might. What are you hearing on the ground?
Listen, when I go home, Biden has botched this economy so bad that when I go home, people are talking to me about the fact that gas is crazy high and that groceries are getting slim at the grocery store and that seniors can't afford their rent. People are really concerned about the kitchen table issues. And so the social issues that the left is trying to push on the American people, they're not a top of mind issue that are driving people to the polls this November. So I feel very confident that Republicans, we know economics, we're going to get it right. We're going to take our country back in November.
Everybody's going to be watching very closely. A historic election ahead of us. Congresswoman, always great to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, John. Appreciate you.
You as well. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When I come back, my good friend Jessica Anderson, Executive Director for Heritage Action for America, she's going to join us next to tell us what's going on at the grassroots right after this.